hello again, everybody. Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180. This is the first Mailbag Monday of 2016, and as you see, oh, please don't fall. No, everything's going to fall. Well, take my word for it. There's a pretty healthy little stack here, so we'll get right to it. I hope that everybody had a fun and safe and happy New Year's. Don't forget, now we are coming up on, well, it's still half a month away, almost, but the 16th, the Best of 2015 live show, starring everybody, will be right here on this channel. That's a Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock p.m. Central, so look forward to that. And otherwise, well, yeah, nothing really to jaw on about right now, so let's get to the books. Okay, and this first one says it is from Simon & Schuster, so looks maybe a little dinged up from the mail. I hope not, but let's see what it is. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit dinged, but not too badly. It's an ARC from the fine folks at Saga. Thank you very much, Saga. This is a book that comes out in June. The author is Mike Brooks, and it appears to be a pretty cool-looking space opera called Dark Run. And there's not a sell sheet that I can see. And so let me try to give you guys an idea of the plot. Okay, there's like a tiny tagline on the back cover, but it's completely covered by the sticker that has the publicist's email and phone number on it. Okay, I guess I am reduced to reading some blurbs here. It says, great fun, golden age chic. That's from Stephen Baxter. SFF World says, if you're looking for a Firefly-like tale filled with characters like Damien Fry and the crew of the Keddy J, you won't be disappointed with this one. Well, there we are. There you are right now. They're identifying the fan base for you for this title. A quick read, but an immensely entertaining one. Intrigue, piracy, and action, says Gavin Smith, an author. Dark Run is page-turning SF romp with an edge as sharp as a monomolecular blade. Okay. All right then. Well, it sounds like it could be lots of fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. Dark Run by Mike Brooks from Saga in June. All right, and a big white envelope always means a tour title. And here we have the hardcover of a new book that I already have in ebook form. I have the e-arc of this, but this is the finished copy of Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. A new novel, they're saying one of the most anticipated YA titles of the new year. Truth Witch comes out tomorrow, January 5th, and it says, Dennard is back. Well, she first burst onto the YA scene with her alternate history series, Something Strange and Deadly, and now it says, Truth Witch. While her previous series took a unique spin on alternate history, Truth Witch takes Dennard into an entirely different direction, an epic fantasy with powerful female characters, humorous voice, skillful world building, and a broad appeal. Okay then, on a continent ruled by 3 empires, it says, some are born with a witchery, a magical skill that sets them apart from others. Now, as the 20-year truce in a centuries-long war is about to end, the balance of power and the failing health of all magic will fall on the shoulders of a mythical pair called the Kar Awen. In the Witchlands, there are almost as many types of magic as there are ways to get in trouble, as 2 desperate young women know all too well. But the biggest thing on Sophia and Iseult's minds is saving money for their planned future of independence in the 100 Isles. Iseult, a thread witch, can see emotional threads binding the world. Sophie, on the other hand, is a truth witch. She always knows when a person is telling a lie. A powerful magic like this is something people would kill to have on their side, or to keep off their enemy's side, and so Sophie cannot ever reveal what she truly is. And then it goes on to say they get mixed up in a war that's coming to their lands, of course. And so, alrighty then. Tomorrow from Tor, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. And a very attractive edition, that. And here we have another Tor release. And look, Bands of Mourning is in the house, as you all know, Brandon Sanderson's newest Mistborn epic, following hot on the heels of Shadows of Self, which he's putting these things out faster than I can review them. Anyway, this comes out from Tor, I believe, towards the end of the month. Yeah, 26th of January, this arrives. What is this? Okay, I gotta show you guys this. It's kind of... This is... Okay, it's like the cell sheet on one side, massively all crammed onto here, right? And then the front of this is the new Ascendancy, like, in newspaper format, so clearly. Something from the world of the book here. Kind of neat. Let's see what the... Bilming's newest ship, Amuse Ellendale officials, Alamancer Jack, Nikki Savage, preternatural detective in the constructs of antiquity. Part 2, oh, Continue below the fold. So, okay, there's a Nikki Savage whole short story here. This is cool. I might actually end up enjoying reading this a little bit more than the novel. But, okay, anyway, Sanderson fans, here you go. Bands of Mourning is out on the 26th. Do your metal tools speak to you? Your neighbors probably don't want to hear about it, but we do. Visit 27 Raylan Place. Ask for K or N. Bring the talking metal with you. Looking for adventure? Basin Bill is looking for you. Hundreds of cities were lost at the final ascension. Magical artifacts, riches, and fame can be yours. Apply in person at Basin Bill's old-time pub and playhouse. Okay, I guess that's a keeper. All right, well, here we have a random Penguin title. And it is Traveler, a new book by Arwen Ellis Dayton. It is the sequel to young adult. The previous book is called Seeker, which they sent me. Of course, haven't gotten around to because so many books. But this one comes out on the 12th. Okay, already. It is called Traveler. It is book 2 in the Seeker series. A heart-stopping adventure story that delves further into the story of the ancient Seekers, dreads, and family legacy that began in last year's Seeker, of course. Quinn Kincaid is a Seeker, her legacy is an honor, an ancient role passed down for generations, but what she learned on her Oath Night changed her world forever. All right, so Ms. Dayton's Seeker saga continues on the 12th. Oh, and a Hachette group title, probably from Orbit. And I was wrong, it's not an Orbit title. This comes from Quercus, and it is an arc for a book by Anna Smale called The Chimes, which I believe has already been out for a good while in the UK. The US edition comes out on the 3rd of May. And it says, after the end of a brutal civil war, the written language is lost and known only as the Old Code, and London is divided with slums standing next to a walled city of elites that houses, dun dun dun, the Order. Monk-like masters are selected for special schooling and shut away for decades, learning to write beautiful compositions for the chimes, played citywide morning and night to mute memory and keep the citizens trapped in ignorance. The past is a mystery where each new day feels the same as the last, and talk of before is considered blasphemy. Blasphemy. Interesting. Adrift in this reimagined world is Simon, a young orphan who discovers he has a gift that could change all of this forever. He embarks on a journey from his farmland home to this reimagined London, with a sense that he must fulfill a forgotten promise to find someone. Along the way, he meets an enigmatic and charismatic young man named Lucien. Enigmatic and charismatic. I've always striven to be that man in my life. Anyway, Lucien is a musical prodigy who's also the leader of a gang of scavengers that patrols the underbelly of the city looking for valuable metal to sell as a budding romance forms. They realize that slowly, inexplicably, Simon is beginning to remember, to wake up. Together they travel to the Order's stronghold in Oxford, where they learn that nothing they ever believed about their world is true. Okay, so May the 3rd, The Chimes, sounds a little bit Dark City with some sort of, Farm Boy Chosen One epic fantasy tropes involved. But yeah, I don't know. If you've read this, let us know what you think in the comments. But this one comes out the 3rd of May. And finally, have another big, chunky package from Random Penguin that appears to have quite a few items in it, all jammed in here. So let's see what we've got, shall we? Oh, yes, full of stuff. Okay, so this is all a bunch of new Ace Rock DOS stuff for January. It looks like Penguin has got their monthly Google form thing functional again, which is pretty nice. So I'm just going to go through the stack of mass markets first. We start with Midnight Taxi Tango. This is the second book in Daniel Jose Older's Bone Street Rumba series, and I'm actually quite eager to get into these. This is the sequel to Half Resurrection Blues. UF is not really my thing, but I've been pretty eager to get into this series because I've heard so many good things about it. But Midnight Taxi Tango is the second one. And followed by Jim Hines' Unbound, which is the third book in the Magic Ex Libris series, which I've already gotten in hardcover, but here is the mass market release now available. Fields of Wrath, which, again, I got in hardcover, but is now available in paperback. This is the newest of the long-running Renshai fantasy novels by Mickey Zucker Reichert. These are inspired by Norse mythology. And so the most recent one, Fields of Wrath, is now out of mass market paperback. And The Vidan is the second book in the first Salic War series. The first book was called The Terrans. Jean Johnson is actually known as, mostly, she made her reputation as a romance writer, and then she shifted rather interestingly not only into space opera, but a kind of military SF. So that's like a real leap, but apparently that previous series was very well received, and this is now a new series, of which this is book 2. And the last of the mass markets is The Witches of Echo Park. This is book 1 in Amber Benson's series, the Echo Park Coven, and the new book, The Last Dreamkeeper, I just got last week on the mailbag, you might recall, in trade paperback format. But here's book 1, now in mass market, The Witches of Echo Park. And finally, jammed into that big envelope is the finished hardcover copy of Dave Barra's Starbound. This is the second volume in the Lightship Chronicles series following Impulse. I've heard things about this series, but if you are a fan, well, you'll be happy to know that book 2 is now out in hardcover from DAW. And that is a pretty nice stack to begin a new year with, if I do say so myself. All right, guys, you know the drill. And if you're a new viewer, well, here is the drill. Light up the comments, let me know which of these books look most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, as always, please leave a like, share this video far and wide with everyone you know who loves and reads SFF, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That is what helps SFF180 grow as a channel. And until I see all of you guys next time, happy reading.